I'm Starborn. Remember to be a star. You have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Coming Up Short. And that is because even though there are some wonderful aspects and very favorable ones this week, because there are 4 planets in a grand trine among the earth signs, and there's another 3 planets in a nice solid trine among the water signs. And yet people in large organizations or corporations, government agencies or institutions can be coming up short. And what that means is that it can be due to circumstances beyond our control. So the bottom line is, you can't have everything you want this week, but that shouldn't stop you from achieving some success. It's just that you might want to allow a little extra time for something that could be holding you back right now, or allowing for a little shortage that, it's a little hard to live with, but that's the way it's going to go right now. And I'll explain why. First of all, the sun is at 25 degrees of Libra today, which rules partnership and peace and negotiation and diplomacy and the law and all legal contracts. And it is closely being conjuncted by Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, at 24 degrees of Libra. So these two are really closely aligned. And yet, if we take a look at that a little bit more closely, and this would favor new partnerships quite a bit. In fact, you'd get news about a pending new partnership, or legal negotiations that had already gotten underway in one way or another, and the news should be good. But when we look at that a little bit more closely, we have to understand that that sun, which is wonderful, is at the 25th degree of Libra, exactly conjuncting the 25th degree where there is the unlucky south node of the moon. And so what that means is that there could be someone around, perhaps a jealous, vindictive woman, or a egocentric, power-hungry man who's rather vain, is all ego and all image and not much else. Still, people like that can be creating a pesky side issue that can be disturbing to a new partnership, because they can want to sort of draw the spotlight away from a promising new partnership right now, one that is looking as if it's going to be very successful. And that is because they are either jealous or vindictive or egocentric, whatever, but they can draw the spotlight away from a promising new partnership. And what it really means is they just want to steal the spotlight away from something that is looking very harmonious and promising right now. And so that could be a pesky little side issue that could disarm some people. I want to tell you that it's not going to stop a new partnership, but it can draw the spotlight away from something very promising that could be occurring in your life that has the potential for a lot of success. Only somebody's going to try to steal your spotlight, and it is a competitor. It'll be somebody who is a competitor. And so that's too bad, because just when you want to sort of glorify a new partnership, somebody else could be trying to steal the spotlight away from that. And in a way, they would be trying to prevent it. It's too late now. It's going to happen anyway. Another way that a pesky side issue could involve circumstances that are beyond your control, but that could, they could delay or halt some of your success right now. They won't stop it, but they might delay it, is because there are 4 planets now in the powerful earth signs in a grand trine. So Venus is in Virgo, and it is trining Pluto in Capricorn, and they are both direct. And those 2 planets are also trining Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. And those 2 planets are retrograde. And so it can be, since Venus in Virgo would depict people who are very hardworking and are very sincere, and they're trying to do their best, and Pluto in Capricorn, which is trining that Venus, indicates that people in upper management would really appreciate their efforts. You know, they would be relying on these people that are so dutiful and, you know, really doing their job. But the pesky issue here may be that there just isn't enough money around to financially reward these people who are so deserving of it. And the reason why is that the two planets that are direct, Venus and Pluto, are trining two more planets, but they're Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, and they are retrograde. And that is simply still an indication that large corporations and the upper management in them, and in government agencies, even whole countries or institutions, are themselves suffering from onerous debt. There's just too much debt in the world. And so they're suffering from onerous debt or very high interest rates or higher costs that they have to pay for and absorb. And so do you see why somebody who is even very hardworking, who is appreciated by upper management, maybe having their financial expectations come up short right now, because maybe that's just not going to work out simply because the employer has got so many other things to pay for, or the boss, or, you know, there's too much debt around, high interest rates, high inflation still, and we're heading into winter. And so these increased costs that everyone is facing, the good workers and the upper management and everybody in between, we're all facing higher costs. And that can make it come up short somewhere, no matter how hard you're working. So that's a little sad. And then finally, there is a happy trine, a very strong one, in the water signs, with 3 planets there. And so Mars is in Scorpio. It's the ruler of Scorpio, so it's very strong. And Scorpio rules justice. So some people can be around and they will want to make sure that justice is done right now, because that Mars in Scorpio is sextiling its co-ruler Pluto in Capricorn. And remember, Pluto is being trined by the other planets in the Earth sign, so it's strong on its own, and it's equally strong for the sign of Scorpio as well. And so these 2 planets are sextiling each other, and then that Mars in Scorpio is also being trined by Neptune, which rules Pisces, and it's in Pisces, and Saturn as well. Saturn and Mars are 2 malefic planets, but they are trining each other. And so they're not hurting anybody. They're really, for the people that want to see that justice is done, they've got a lot of muscle behind them, and they can really want to make sure that happens. But will it? Or will it do that now? I think the justice is going to come up a little bit short right now. And the reason why is that the planets in Pisces are retrograde. Yes, they're trining that Mars, but Neptune and Saturn are retrograde. And when planets go back in their orbits, they're searching for more truth. And Pisces rules things that are hidden behind the scenes. And so the very people that want to see that justice is done and can be really determined to do that can be tormented by others behind the scenes who are their enemies and who still want to strike, or still want to cause harm, or still want to be involved in covert activities. They don't want to see that justice is done. But the sign of Scorpio and Scorpio's rulers certainly want to see that justice is done. And these planets in Pisces are not hurting the Mars in Scorpio, but they may not be helping it either, as far as people behind the scenes who still want to torment others or cause harm, or who are truly evil. And so it's a little hard to do justice when those people are still around. And so So the people that want to see that justice is done could be coming up a little bit short right now. I don't think that's going to change their mind at all. So you see, even if you come up short on something this week, even if you have the best intentions in the world, okay, and they don't quite come true this week, you've got to hold on anyway and keep trying to do your best. Because remember I said that the Sun and Mercury, which can denote good news about a partnership, those planets are pretty compact. Anything that's conjuncting the Sun is pretty good, except the south node of the Moon. That's not too good. And so the good news is that we just had a solar eclipse in Libra, which was powerful. And in 2024, next year, there are 2 more eclipses in Libra. That's why I'm urging you not to give up on any kind of promising partnership that might be new. Okay, if you come up a little short right now, keep going. Because there's 2 eclipses in Libra next year. New partnerships aren't going to make it. They're going to need a lot of help, but they're going to make it. And remember that Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So don't give up on that, no matter what. Because even if your plans are coming up, which can be very promising right now and look good and have a lot of potential for future success, particularly in a new partnership, even if they're coming up a little bit short for one reason or another right now, stick to them. Because I think they're really going to make it. In the long run, they're going to make it. So don't give up. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. For you, Aries, I think that since there are no planets in the fire signs right now, I think that you're going to have to be a little bit careful sort of where you walk or what you do right now, Aries. And you may not have a whole lot of energy right now. You may be thinking about a lot of things, particularly financial matters right now, because the sign of Taurus is right ahead of your sun sign. And the 2 planets that are in Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus, which is a malefic planet in Taurus, are both retrograde or going backward. So you may have to go back, Aries, and redo some sort of financial former agreement or legal contract or something like that, and you should prepare for something to be coming up a little short right now. Remember, it's due to circumstances beyond anyone's control. So it's not your fault if something's coming up short, but it's not somebody else's fault either. Due to the fact that there are economic conditions that are sort of out of control right now, and so nobody controls them, but we're all a victim of them. And you will be too, Aries. But that is not going to stop you from being able to plan some sort of new partnership if you want to. Or you could be breaking away from a partnership right now, since the Sun and the unlucky south node of the Moon in Libra are opposing your Sun, where you have the lucky north node. You may instead think that you want to break away from an old partnership and start a new one, or you may be thinking that you are your own best friend and you just want to strike out on your own. Well, take your time, Aries. There's no planets in fire signs, so you can just sort of plan things right now and rest a lot and prepare for a new start, because you can do that. There's a fabulous new moon coming up in Sagittarius. And your ruler, Mars, is going to be there on that new moon in December. And so maybe you should spend the time between now and December just planning what do you want to do for next year, Aries. Because, if a person has a good plan, it has a greater chance for success, particularly if you keep reviewing it and sort of polishing a little bit. So I hope you do that. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. This is a time, Taurus, when, remember, I mentioned that even the hardest, most sincere workers, depicted by Venus in Virgo, which is trining your Sun. In other words, you've got the ruler of your sign trining your sign. That is excellent for you, Taurus. It means that since Pluto in Capricorn is also trining your Sun, that if you're in upper management, you can certainly be appreciating the hard-working people that are wanting to help you in one way or another. Well, because they've got their heart in it. I mean, they're doing their best. Now, they might want to get paid more for that, and you could understand why. But this is a time, Taurus, when you just can't afford everything. And the reason why is that Mars in Scorpio is opposing Uranus in your sign and Jupiter in your sign, and both planets in your sign are retrograde. Well, Mars isn't. It is just galloping forward, and it is very well fortified. The planets in your sign are well fortified too, because there's a grand trine in the earth signs. But there's also a very beneficial trine in the water signs. So you're not going to get everything that you want right now, Taurus. It doesn't mean that you can't be popular or well liked, particularly, and it doesn't mean you can't get a lot of help with whatever you want to do. But even you, if your efforts are well appreciated by others, but they don't have the money to pay you more, then you're going to be coming up a little short. And so I hope you haven't been overspending lately, Taurus, because everybody's got a little problem with higher debt or higher interest rates or certainly higher costs. And that would pertain to you as well, Taurus. And so this is a better time for you really to, try to be a little bit more modest in your goals and maybe pare them down a little bit. And also try to be much more modest with your spending habits. You would be rewarded for that right now. Modesty is ruled by Virgo, and Venus, your own ruler, is in that sign, trining your sun. So you could be improving your health, but you might not have to pay a lot for that. It might require just more work on your part. So you can be lucky right now, Taurus, in a real sort of down-home, practical way. And so this is not a time to be a high flyer or spend a lot of money. But that doesn't mean you can't be successful. That's what I mean. People can be coming up short in one way or another, but that may not. It might delay their success a little bit, but it isn't going to stop it. And so you have a lot to look forward to, Taurus. There's an eclipse coming up in your sign. And so it's a lunar eclipse at 5 degrees in your sign, so we will be discussing that. And so I'll have more news for you then. So good luck, and keep it simple right now, Taurus. You'll be glad you did. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. This is a time, Gemini, when you might be perplexed by somebody around you that you don't really like, but you might have to deal with them. So instead of you being around people that you really enjoy, you could get stuck by being involved in a legal matter or some sort of partnership arrangement. It may not be even of your choosing, but you could be involved in it, and you would have to sort of get along right now with somebody who could be jealous or vindictive or even a competitor, and they would want to steal your spotlight. If you were starting a new partnership or you were engaging in some new legal activities, they could be jealous or vindictive or simply want to stop the good news that could be coming your way. Your ruler, Mercury, is trining your sun. It's in Libra, and it's being conjuncted by the sun and trining your sun and the Aquarian sun. So you should be getting some good news, Gemini, but you also may be somewhat forced to deal with somebody that is probably a little jealous of you or just has a mean streak in them and or a greedy streak. And you're going to have to deal with them a little bit, and that could make you come up a little bit short in the happiness department, Gemini. But you're versatile and adaptable, and your sign rules change. And it can be easy transitional change. And that is very well favored for you right now. So I say, keep trying to go ahead and just realize that you are perhaps running into a pesky side issue right now, but that's all it is. It's a side issue. You can still go forward, Gemini. And so don't give up on anything. Just keep going. This is an excellent time for you to start a new partnership and also to make some easy change because the task itself could look daunting, or the goal or the challenge could look daunting, but you've got a lot of backup. You've got good backup right now, and you can attract somebody who would be a good partner. So look up, Gemini. You know, the future is looking better for you than you realize, but you've got to keep your eye on the future. Don't let yourself get weighed down by people that you don't like anyway. Just realize they're going to be history pretty soon, and keep going yourself. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time, Cancer, when in one way or another you may feel that justice must be done. And that is because there is a powerful trine in the water signs, and yours is a water sign. So you have Mars in Scorpio, which rules the sign, trining your sun. That means you've got some powerful backup. And there could be more money coming your way as well, Cancer. Or if there is some sort of pesky little side issue that is a financial issue, it may work out eventually to your benefit. And then Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which rules the sign, are also trining your sun. So 2 of the 3 malefic planets, Mars and Saturn, are trining your sun. They're not hurting you. They're there to help you. They're there to sort of give you some pretty strong backup right now, Cancer. So if you were thinking of a move, okay, that's real hard to do, but somebody could be backing you up on that, or wanting to help you in one way or another. So it might not be quite as onerous as, I don't think Cancers like to settle down, but there could be a move coming in your future, and just realize if it's got to be done, then think of it as being done in a way that allows the best yet to come, because it will. So if you're looking at some sort of change, or you're looking at wanting to sort of set the record straight, or you think that justice should be done, believe me, you're going to get a lot of help with that right now. What you need to watch out for that could delay something right now is somebody behind the scenes, or even a group of people, or even an organization that wants to torment you from behind the scenes, or wants to dig up old problems and throw them at you, Cancer. Well, okay, that could make you feel as if you were going to come up short on something, but it would be better to face it while you have so much strength supporting your sign. I mean, this is the time, if you have to do battle, this is the right time to do it, because you're going to get a lot of help from other people with that. And the water signs are all healing water signs. So it may take some sort of adjustment that you have to make, or even the possibility of coming up short on something, for you to realize that there just has to be change now. And you're going to have some really strong, powerful support in helping with you making a change. And it should actually make you feel better. I mean, if a problem arises, that's not going to make you feel good, but having an awful lot of strength to help you solve the problem, that's going to make you feel good. So don't give up on anything, Cancer. The best really is yet to come. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. This is a time, Leo, when, since there aren't any planets in fire signs, you may be feeling like taking a time out right now. And yet, I don't think you can, Leo. And the reason why is that there are very strong malefic planets in the fixed financial signs right now, and they all square your sun. Which means you've got some sort of financial problem that is going to make you come up short somewhere, Leo. And the reason why is that Uranus, a malefic planet, and Jupiter in Taurus are not only squaring your sun, they're both retrograde. Okay, and you don't have a planet in your sign anymore. And so in a way you have no defense. You have to face a financial problem that could involve higher debt, high bills, or high costs, high inflation. I mean, you name it. Or it can be that investments The value of your investments could be fluctuating, so the income from them could be fluctuating as well. That could be a challenge. And then Mars in Scorpio is also squaring your sun. And so, Mars rules taxes, loans, debt, credit. And so you could have some problems there as well, Leo. And you just have to face them. It's like the walls are closing in. You can't get away from it. You have to face something. But you know, Leo, yours is a fixed sign. The fixed signs are very strong just on their own. That's because they all refuse to budge. It would not be wise of you to take that attitude right now. You have to be more diplomatic. The Sun and the unlucky south node of the moon and Mercury in Libra are all sextiling your Sun. You could get some good legal advice now, and that might help you out. And you could actually think about taking on a new partner or making some sort of a compromise in a legal settlement. Do you see, if you just bend a little bit right now, Leo, and you try your best to be charming, you know, don't fight anything right now with the squares from these planets in the fixed financial signs. If you fought hard on something right now, you'd only be spending a lot of money for nothing. You wouldn't win. And so skip that. Try charm. Or try compromise. That's what Libra rules. And it's sextile. The Sun is sextiling your Sun, and the Sun is your own ruler. So there can be good news, either through a legal resource or through a new partnership that can help you with some of your financial challenges right now. It may not solve them. Remember, the reason we can be coming up short right now is due to circumstances beyond our control. But that doesn't mean that everybody is just lost right now. What it means is that there's still potential for success, but we may have to adapt to circumstances that we can't change and then still try to go forward. And you can do that, Leo, but you can't do it by rigidly sticking to your own point of view. It's going to cost you too much to do that, so don't. This is the time to bend or anticipate change and sort of go with the flow. And besides, Leo, how do you know? That could end up being a whole lot better for you. So give it a try if you can. Compromise. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. Well, Virgo, once again, I think you could be in the mood for love because the love planet Venus is in your sign and the Sun is conjuncting your own ruler, Mercury, right ahead of your sign in Libra. So you could be getting some good news about a partnership. Okay, that would be great. You could be getting some good news about legal terms that might become favorable for you, but perhaps not right now. And that is because the Sun is conjuncting Mercury at 24 degrees and the Sun's at 25. But unfortunately, the Sun is exactly on the unlucky south node of the moon. And that could present something, a circumstance that is beyond your control, or a competitor, or even a boss of yours that really appreciates your efforts but can't reward you for that right now because other costs are too high, or the debt is too high, or inflation is too high. You know, the sad thing is that even though Venus is in your sign and it's part of a powerful grand trine in the earth signs, still, people can't get everything they want right now due to circumstances beyond their control. And even though your boss could think you're doing a great job, you may not get a reward for that right now because they can't afford it. And you may not believe that. But just remember, Venus in your sign can make you very charming, Virgo. And, you know, if you could think a little bit more about how to, instead of just being factual, which is what a Virgo likes to be, if you could think of being more tactful and offer praise to others. I mean, you're the one that deserves the praise because you've been working so hard. But maybe you could sort of spread that praise around a little bit and maybe it would come back to you. And goodwill. Goodwill solves a lot of problems, Virgo. It does. When money doesn't work, try goodwill. I mean, what's wrong with being a good person? Nothing. Most people respond quite well to that. So put your best foot forward right now, Virgo. And even if you are coming up a little bit short in your financial expectations right now, you're still under very good aspects because of the Grand Trine in the Earth signs. So I would say just be patient. You know, you don't have to come across as hard-edged or demanding right now. Not with Venus in your sign. You could come across much more effectively by being charming and friendly and helpful and willing to compromise. So put a smile on, Virgo, and go forward. I don't think there's much stopping you right now. You should take advantage of the fact that there are a lot of people that like you, and you stick around the people that like you because they can give you loving reinforcement right now, and maybe that's a better reward than money. Have you thought about that? All of us need love. And when you give it, you get it. Maybe that would be better for you now. Who knows? Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time, Libra, when I think you're going to run into somebody that wants to steal your spotlight. And why? Because they're jealous or vindictive or their ego is so big nothing else fits in the room except their swelled head. Okay, so those people are around right now, Libra, and since the sun in your sign is exactly conjuncting that unlucky south node of the moon, you're somewhat aspected to be plagued by somebody who thinks that they are the smartest person on the planet, and they want to sort of push you out of the spotlight, which you could be in right now. You could be getting some good news about a partnership, or you could be wanting to start a new partnership. And with Mercury conjuncting the sun in your sign, that is looking very favorable right now. I would pursue that if I were you. And okay, so there could be somebody else around that wants to compete with you, or wants to steal the spotlight of your good fortune away from you. Okay, but you know, the nodes in the moon are not effective at all if they are not conjuncted exactly on the degree. So be patient, Libra, because the sun is going to move away from that 25th degree, and Mercury's going to come up. Mercury's at 24 degrees. It's going to come up to 25 degrees. When both of those planets slide by that 25th degree where the unlucky south node is the moon is, you're still going to have good fortune. Okay, you're still going to be on a roll, Libra. And then there's 2 more eclipses in your sign next year. You really have to be more forward-thinking now. A new partnership is extremely well favored, but boy, it could just grow and grow and grow because there's going to be 2 more eclipses in your sign in 2024. Don't let anything stop you now, Libra. Just remember, these planets are always moving, okay? Some of them are a lot slower than others, but not the sun. And Mercury isn't that slow either. So just have confidence that when they nudge past that 25th degree of Libra in your sign, they'll be heading on out of Libra, but they're sure going to help you. So keep a smile on your face, Libra. And hold your head up high. Look good. Libras like to look good. And just put your best foot forward. Because you're actually in the winner's seat, Libra, no matter who's trying to steal the spotlight from you. The fact that they're trying to steal the spotlight means the spotlight is on you. That's why you gotta look your best, Libra. The best is yet to come. Have faith. You're going to have a year that is going to exceed your expectations in 2024. So don't let anything stop you now. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. This is a time, Scorpio, when you can really feel like justice needs to be done. Because that's what your sign rules. And Mars, your own ruler, is in your sign, and it is being sextiled by your other ruler, Pluto, in Capricorn, and they're both direct. They're working together really well right now. Pluto in Capricorn rules people in upper management, or people with influence. And I think they agree with you that justice should be done. Or they sort of have your back. They're interested in supporting you. And then Neptune in Pisces, along with Saturn in Pisces, which is a malefic planet, are both trining that Mars in your sun sign. And two malefic planets that are trining each other means that they've got a lot of muscle, but they're working cooperatively together. And it's on your behalf. It's on the behalf of all the water signs. Even the sign of Cancer that doesn't have a planet in it right now, because they're trining it. And so, Scorpio, I don't think anything is going to dissuade you. I think you believe that justice should be done, and there's no argument about it in your mind. It's got to be done. And fair is fair. And your sign rules war, and so does your ruler, Mars. As far as war goes, Pluto, your co-ruler, rules nuclear explosions and submarine warfare. Because submarines go through the water, but they do it by stealth, and your sign rules stealth as well. So, Scorpio, you may be thinking of ways that justice could be done, and perhaps no one would see it being done. In other words, it could be getting done behind the scenes, because there can be old enemies that are tormenting victims of their own, and somebody's got to stop them. But perhaps whoever's stopping them would be more successful at stopping them if they were doing it real quietly. And Scorpio's pretty good at that. Scorpios are not vengeful in any way. They don't wage war just to wage war. But they will do what they have to in order to bring justice. Because Scorpio rules patience. And Scorpios have so much patience, it takes them a long time to use it all up. But when they get to the end of that, justice is going to be done. And that could be where you are now, Scorpio. And I just suggest that whatever you've got in mind, I would do it real quietly, because it looks like it could work. And the thing about justice is that it's there for the safety of others. You know, whether it's the safety of mankind or the safety of people in a group that you belong to or whatever. I would suggest that you very quietly figure out how to make sure it gets done. And the stars are with you. You could do that. And I would just say you'd be more successful by being very quiet. There's no reason to publicize what you're thinking of. But if justice has to be done for the good of all, or to support the law, or even to save mankind, you're in a good position to do it. And the stars are with you. So good luck, Scorpio. Fair is fair. All right, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Sagittarius. This is a time, Sagittarius, when I think that you two, just like Aries and Leo, you would profit best by sort of paying attention to your own business, since there aren't any planets in fire signs. So instead, you could be deciding that you want to work on future long-term plans of yours. And your sign rules long-distance travel, and it rules higher education, and it rules international legal matters. Sort of big topics. But your sign, Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter, and it's an intellectual sign, high-minded. Your sign also rules religion and philosophy. And Sagittarians like to have a broad view of something. They sort of like to know all sides of an issue. And that's certainly possible. You could use your time very wisely right now, Sagittarius, by organizing your thoughts or doing some extra research or making plans that could help you take a step up. Because you're certainly going to have the energy for it by your birthday, because there's going to be a new moon with Mars, the planet of energy, in your sign under the new moon. And so that's coming up now as we enter the holidays. And so it would be wiser of you to sort of quietly decide, okay, what's got to be done here? And plan it, set it up. And if it involves you taking a long distance trip, you could do it. You could do it. You got to plan it first, but you could do it. And you're going to be very busy on your birthday or close to your birthday. You could say, well, I'm not planning on that now. Well, things could change by your birthday, Sagittarius. You're going to be real busy then. And luckily, you will have the drive and the energy to succeed. And I'm just urging you now, when it's sort of quiet in the fire signs, try to plan for that. Try to see how you can enlarge your sphere of influence or your contributions to the world, because it takes every one of us to try to make it a better world. And if we each try hard, we can succeed. The best is yet to come. But it's not going to get there on its own. We've got to participate. So I hope you're planning on being real busy by your birthday, Sagittarius, because you will be. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, you could be benefiting perhaps by the influence of somebody in upper management that likes you quite a bit, or you can be benefiting by seeing the truth about something, really looking at an organization, even a large corporation, or a government agency, or some sort of institution, and getting a full picture of not only their own power, but perhaps even some of their limitations or problems that they need to solve. And that's because Pluto's a pretty powerful planet. It's been in your sign for years. And it's direct now. It's been retrograde for a long time, but it's direct now. And it's being trined, and your sun is being trined by Venus in Virgo. So if you had been making sincere, dedicated efforts to be of assistance to somebody, there could be some shining truth coming through to you now about that, Capricorn. Might be coming from someone else who appreciates you. But it might also help you realize what power you have of your own. So power isn't measured just by how much money somebody has. Power in the end is measured by the sincere efforts of someone. And the most powerful thing in the world is truth. And so you may be coming into your own by facing the truth about yourself. And others can see that too, which is good. The one thing that you can be not exactly worried about, but concerned with, is that Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus they're trining your sun, which is good, but they're both retrograde, and they're being opposed by that Mars in Scorpio. Now, Mars in Scorpio sextiles Pluto in your sign. They're getting along just fine. But this opposition that's setting up of malefic planets, Mars and Uranus, in the fixed financial signs could make you a little bit worried about expenses right now, Capricorn. And just remember, whatever your talent is you've proven it. And so others can see the truth of it, of your talent and your sincerity and your hard work. Okay, that's out there for the world to see. And that truth about yourself perhaps is something that you should admit as well. And then the next question is, what are you going to do with your power, Capricorn? You've got it, and others agree. Others can see that. You've got proof of just how powerful the truth is about your efforts and your sincerity. So what are you going to do with it? Well, you could try something. Venus is trining your sun. You know, Capricorns like to take one step at a time, just work sort of slowly. Well, all I'm suggesting is that you start taking one step at a time, sort of higher and higher and higher, because you can do it, Capricorn. And the world needs every person to do their best right now. This is looking, it's looking like a dangerous, angry world. And the only thing that's going to make it better is the truth. And the truth about how we can help or what we can do. And one thing that every Capricorn has, no matter what their age is, they already have a lot of experience. Capricorns are real steady workers. Well, that counts. So I hope you go forward and that you face the truth about yourself, Capricorn, because you've got a lot of good things to look at, and other people can see it too. You are more appreciated than you realize. But then what that means is that it's time for you to stop not believing in yourself. Because everybody believes in you, and you've got the proof. Your efforts speak for themselves. So now it's time to go forward, mainly because the world needs you to do that. So think about it. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Aquarius. Well, Aquarius, the Sun and Mercury are conjuncting each other in Libra, and they are trining your Sun and the Gemini Sun. And so there can be some good news about a partnership or a legal matter coming up for you, Aquarius. And it may even surprise you a little bit. But I think it's headed your way. Now, along with that can be a pesky little side issue. Something that is a circumstance that is beyond your control and that you are just going to have to adapt to. But Aquarius, yours is a fixed sign. Fixed signs don't adapt very well. They stay fixed. But you have the Sun and Mercury conjuncting each other. They're both going to glide past that unlucky south node of the moon in Libra at 25 degrees, and they're still going to be trining your Sun after they do that. And so if you had been hoping for some last minute good news, it's probably still coming your way, Aquarius. If there's a little pesky side issue that you have to deal with right now, well, okay, then you do. All of us do. It may involve a circumstances beyond your control that you have nothing to do with, but you still have to deal with it. It could be a financial matter because Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus are squaring your Sun sign. But they're retrograde, and retrograde planets are a little weaker, whereas the Sun and Mercury in Libra, which are trining your Sun, are both direct and conjuncting each other, which doubles their strength. So you have more going for you than against you, Aquarius. And what you need to do is really focus in on the future. And that future involves a new partnership or new terms in a partnership. But I think it involves a brand new partnership. And that is the direction you should go in, Aquarius, because there's going to be 2 more eclipses in Libra next year, and they're going to trine your Sun too. This is the time for you to plan ahead or decide to take steps into your future, which is what your sign rules. Because, Aquarius, that is the way you're going anyway. If you say, oh, I don't have any plans for the future, then someone who would make a very good partner is going to come along and head you in that direction. And that'll be wonderful for you. So, try to be at your very best right now, Aquarius, because I think there's some good news, either legal or partnership oriented, coming your way. It'll still come your way. Might be there might be a delay, but it's still coming your way. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. Well, Pisces, whether you're feeling strong or not, in a way, it almost doesn't matter because you've got a lot of strength coming your way. And it won't let you down, no matter what, Pisces, because Mars in Scorpio, which rules the sign, is trining your sun sign where you have Neptune and Saturn, and that they're both retrograde, which makes them a little bit weaker, but Mars isn't. And Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio, is sextiling that Mars, but Pluto is also sextiling your sun. And so there's somebody in upper management that is thinking very favorably about you, Pisces. And then there's somebody else that's got a lot of drive and energy and determination, and they like you too. And so, Pisces, I think that you're going to be swept along in something that could be quite delightful for you. And, it could represent something that happens after a long period of waiting, but it could happen pretty quickly. Okay, Mars is energy, but Saturn in your sign rules delay. But you might have been waiting for something that's been delayed for a long time, but whoo, it's just going to go forward. It might involve something that involves justice being done, but it would tend to be to your satisfaction. I'm not necessarily thinking that it might be to your benefit, but it could be to your satisfaction, meaning it would be okay with you. And it doesn't mean it wouldn't necessarily be to your benefit, but it's, you could have had something that you wanted to do for a long time, and it could have been long enough that you didn't realize times have changed. Your goal didn't change, but the times have changed. And so when something does come straight at you, full of energy and force, Pisces, you're going to have to adjust to that. Because whoever's coming right at you, they really know what they're doing. And if I were you, Pisces, I would follow along, follow their lead. Because it would take you into the future. It would stop you from longing for the past when you don't need to, because the future's going to be so much more dynamic. The only thing you have to worry about is getting tired. So you better take care of yourself, Pisces, because the best is yet to come. And you want to be ready for it. So good luck. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and subscribe to it on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, and I'd be happy to send it to you every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And if you'd like to read the blog on my website, starborninstitute.org, it would explain the theme of each week's show a little bit more, and maybe that would help in your understanding as well. So until then, I'll see you next week. Bye.